today's topic is 3 questions of Sanatan Goswami to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. At the end, if you have any questions, you could raise your hand or you could type it in the text box and send it to me, and I'll read it out for you. You can take it over, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
So, should I go ahead?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to all the devotees at Bergen County's congregation. Please accept my humble obeisances. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamine Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhashyatya Deshapane Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gautam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So, dear devotees, I will give about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his teachings to Sanatana Goswami, and where they met. I will give a little bit background. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born in 1486 in Mayapur, Navadvip, and for 24 years age, he was preaching nocturnal kirtans. He was a very scholar. He will, at his own toll, he will travel to different places. But after initiation and after taking sannyas, then he felt that I should be renounced, and he wanted to go to Vrindavan. But somehow, by tricks of Nityananda Prabhu, he came to Advaitacharya Prabhu's house, and then he stayed there for a week, and his mother asked him or begged him to please let you should, rather than Vrindavan, it would be very far to get me any messages from you. I would like you to see that you go to Jagannath. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to Jagannath Puri and he transforms Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the king of Odisha, Maharaj Prataparudra, also like became his kind of like devotee. But he wanted to go to South India to preach. His main purpose was preaching and converting and meeting all sampradayas, all 4 sampradayas, the heads of them. He went to South India and he traveled there almost 2 years in South India. He met Ramananda Rai and had questions about different sadhu sadhana nirnaya, what is the goal of life, how to obtain the goal of life. So he discussed with those. And later on, he converted many people at wherever, whomever he met. And then he came back again to Jagannath Puri. And later on, he wanted to go to Vrindavan. So when he went towards the Vrindavan, when he came, then he came to Ramkeli, and there were a lot of people who were following him. Thousands of people, everywhere you will see in the boats and walking. And then even the king asked that, is it like nobody would work for me and follow me like this? He must be the Supreme Lord. Sanatana Goswami says, no, he's an ordinary man. He's just a mendicant. At midnight. So,
can you hear me?
Hare Krishna, is it okay?
There is some background noise coming when you're speaking. So
okay. That's okay.
Maybe if you can come closer or fan.
Is it better?
Let's try. Can you speak?
Okay, let us. It was some fan was.
I think much better, right? Yeah, Prabhuji, please speak.
Okay.
Better,
So King Hussain Shah was asking all these things, but Sanatana Goswami did not wanted that maybe king's mind may change. He's a Muslim, so why not to just tell him? So they made both the brothers Rup and Sanatan, they met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by putting the straw in their teeth, a sign of humility, and asked them to get them out of this girt of material existence. Although they were in very highly posted positions as a minister and as a prime minister and also financial manager to Goswami, but nonetheless, by mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami could get out of the place easily, but Sanatan Goswami was taking care of the king's practically every affair. He used to go and fight. And so by bribing a jail keeper, and Sanatan Goswami also came back, and then he went to Banaras by the route of not main roads. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when there were so many people, he went back again to Jagannath Puri. And then again he had only one person with him, and initially in South India he took Kala Krishna Das with him. Then here he is taking another devotee with him, only one person, and they go to Vrindavan. In the route to Vrindavan, there was in Jharkhand, many animals would also chant the holy name of the Lord, and even people with the animals of opposite character like lion and even a deer, they will meet and they will embrace each other and dancing and chanting the holy name of the Lord, even the birds, many in this way. So animals were also like, when there is a pure soul or supreme personality of Godhead, he could make anybody a devotee of the Lord. Just like Prabhupada met devotees, wherever he went, whichever country he went, even nobody knew him, but they started chanting the holy name and followed his instructions. In Russia, he was hardly there for 3 days. But he converted. Now there are millions of devotees in that place. So in this way, anyway, the purity is the force. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so he went to Vrindavan. He was there for some time, and when he returned back, he met Rupa Goswami first, and he instructed them. That was at Prayag, at Bindu Madhav temple, and he instructed him for 10 days in the science of Krishna consciousness. Then he came to Banaras or Kashi, and he stayed at Tapan Mishra's house, and then he was there for almost 2 months, converting many people, and many Mayavadis people were there, and he was talking to them. But he gave the instruction to Sanatan Goswami. So Sanatan Goswami, after he was released from the jail of King Hussain Shah, then he comes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's place, and then he's saying in great humility, he asked about his own real identity. I was born in a lower family. He was thinking himself low because he worked for the Muslim king and had even changed his name also, Zabir Khas and Sakar Malik. And so, although he was listening and he was Prakhand Vidwan, he was very learned in many languages, Farsi and Urdu and Sanskrit, and all the scriptures also he was learned. But still, that is the way to ask a superior person or a spiritual master. So, Tabe Sanatan Prabhu Charan Dhariya, he got hold of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, and then is asking in the question that I was born in a low family. I am born of a lower family. My associates are all abominable, and I am fallen, the most wretched of the mankind. I was suffering the dark veil of material environment, and I never knew the actual goal of my life. That what is the duty and what is the goal of my life. I do not even know what is beneficial for me. Although what is known that I am very learned in the world as a great learned man, I am in fact so much of a fool that I myself even think that I am learned. In this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that you are my servant, and you have delivered me. You have accepted me as your servant, and you have delivered me from all entanglement of the material life. Now, please tell me what is my duty in this liberated state. For people who are even liberated, like Mukti. Mukti means they are free from material entanglement. But beyond Mukti is still there is a further you have to go. What you will do once you are liberated, when you are free. So what you have to do is engage in loving service to the Lord. So that is what he wanted to know, that what exactly the devotional service is, who is he, what is his duty. So you have saved me from the material existence. Now after liberation, what is my duty? Sanatan asked, who am I? Why are the threefold miseries? So these are the Karpa Kari, यदि मोरे करी आज उद्धार. This is all from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter number 20th. आपण कृपाय कह कर्तव्य अमार. What is my duty? के आम्ही. These are very important questions for everybody. Everybody, they should be asking and they should know fully conversant with these three questions. That is the topic of today. के आम्ही, who am I? केने आमाय जारे तापत्र. Why the 3-4 material miseries are inflicting me? Why they come to me? What I have done wrong? And how I could be free. यह नहीं जानी आम्ही केमे नहीं था. What is beneficial for me? I do not know. So tell me how I can be relieved from this material entanglement. I do not know how to question you about the advancement of spiritual life, but I beg that you kindly, mercifully let me know everything that I need to know. So this is the process of accepting a spiritual master. One should approach a spiritual master, humbly submit to him, and then inquire from him about one's spiritual life. So the Lord was very, very pleased by Sanatana Goswami's questions and his behavior, and you have already received benediction from Lord Krishna, and therefore you know everything. But for the benefit of the whole human society in the material world, you are asking this question. Same thing has happened when Arjuna was asking questions to Lord Krishna in the battlefield, that what is my duty? What I should be doing. Means he was confused whether to fight with his kinsmen or not to fight, whether he should renounce the material world and take the process of like sannyas. But Krishna told him, no, you do your duty according to your word and ashram, and you always remember me and do your duty of fighting, because he was a Kshatriya. So same thing here at Sanatana Goswami is asking the Lord various questions so people can know. Ke aami. So these three questions: who am I? Why these 3-4 material miseries are inflicting me? And what is beneficial for me? What is my duty? So what is my swarup? So here there are the whether am I this mind? Am I this body? Am I this my senses? So who am I ultimately? So in the mind there is Gyan Shakti, Ichha Shakti, means there is a knowledge, there is a like thinking, feeling, willing, there is a desire, is there. I am this body. If I am the body, then why this Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Madh, this inflict me? So it's a good thinking that you have put this. So we will continue till 115th verses. So ke ami, keme amaya jare tapatra, iha nahi jani, keme nahi jane. Who am I? I do not. Why do the miseries always give me trouble? If I do know this, how can I be relieved from this? So can we have the next verse on how I can move myself? The next one, next. Okay. So he is asking that you please let me know that I'm getting so much trouble from Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mada, Matsarya. Why it is? So Tapatra. So Tapatra means three kinds of tapa or suffering. That is Adhyatmic, Adi Bhautik, and Adi Daivik. So these three kinds. So little bit we will talk about these things. The 3-4 miseries are called Adhyatmic, Adi Bhautik, and Adi Daivik. Adhyatmic refers to those miseries caused by mind and body. Sometimes the living entity suffers body physically and is distressed mentally. Both are Adhyatmic miseries. And we experience these miseries even in the womb of the mother, as well as there are many types of miseries that take advantage of the delicate human body and give us pain. Miseries inflicted by other living entity, that is called Adi Bhautik. This living entity, that it may be the large or many, like there are bugs, just like this coronavirus, very tiny, but still it is giving us. Even we are in this in the bed, there is a problem. So प्रभु कहे कृष्ण कृपा तुम्हारा पूर्ण है, सब तत्व ज्ञान तुम्हारा नाही तापत्र. That you know, once you understand this all the tattvas, then you would not have this tapatra, this Adi Daivik, Adhyatmic, and Adi Bhautik. So Adi Bhautik means some other living entity, and Adi Daivik means there are miseries that are natural disasters that originate with the demigods of the higher planets, like suffer from severe cold, hot weather, from thunderbolt, earthquakes. So there are many ways, tornadoes, droughts, and then there are many, many natural disasters that happen. Sanatan's inquiry was therefore it was an intelligent one. His position as a living entity. That was his main. Why I was always undergoing these three kinds of misery. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is replying him that so so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling about the first question, who am I? Jivera Swarup कृष्ण शक्ति धर तुम्ही जन तत्व भाव जानी दाढ़े लागी पूछे साधुर स्वभाव. So दाढ़े लागी, for the sake of the strictness you are inquiring all this. That is the nature of the holy man sadhu. That is the nature. Swabhav is the nature. So you possess Lord of Krishna's potency. You certainly know these things. It is the nature of the sadhu to inquire. Although he knows these things, the sadhu inquires for the sake of the strictness, that they know the correctly. Because unless it is in the correct way, unless it is from the Shastra, Sadhu Shastra Guru, then you cannot concoct many, many things. So that is what people they do. They think, I think like this. So that is not the way to understand. So, and that why these threefold material miseries are inflicted. So that is Krishna Bhuli Sejiv Anadi Bahirmukh. That we have turned our face from Krishna, from Anadi. Means there is no beginning. Means even before the creation that we have turned away. You may say, how before the creation? Because there is creation is continuous. Adi means Adadi and Anadi. So Anadi Bahirmukh, that from time immemorial, or we do not know since when, or even because creation comes and goes, but still we are out of the Krishna's face or Krishna's front or in the spiritual kingdom. Why we are here? Because we turned our face. Atev Maya Tare De Sansara. So Krishna is many, many potencies, and that is internal energy. So we belong to the internal energy. We belong to internal energy. If we want to awaken our spiritual consciousness, and then we have to really inquire about these things. Then only we will know the desired goal of our life. Our goal of life, is it Krishna is our goal of life? Is it, what is our exact goal of life? To enjoy the body or senses? So what our thing, Jivera Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das. That is one thing, that we are eternally a servant of the Lord. And another thing is that we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Mamai Vanshu Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So we are spiritual entities. We are not body. We have nothing to do with the body. The body has been given to us to just test or just to understand what is the material nature. How it is. We have been here in the material world from many lifetimes, billions and billions of lifetimes, and still we are suffering because our attachment to the material nature. We think that I am the matter and my purpose in life is to just enjoy this material nature. So that is how, and these things they come and go, it's all right, but still I have not seen the spiritual world. So there are people are afraid of the spiritual world. They think what will happen. I'm enjoying here. I have whatever it is there. I'm still okay. Even a pig in the stool, he will still think that I'm okay. I have my piglets. I have my wife. I'm enjoying this. Like Indra became big one time, and he did not wanted to go or become an Indra. And what to say about the Indra? We have whole spiritual world is awaiting for us. Krishna is awaiting for us. And only that you have to do become spiritual consciousness. Unless our consciousness is spiritual, we will again do the same material activity. We will think of the material things even in the spiritual world. So that's why Krishna comes himself to rescue us. Krishna sends so many devotees to rescue us. There are so many incarnations to take us. He comes in deity form, comes in pictures, holy dhams, holy places, holy man. Many ways that he imitates whole purpose of coming to this material world, and particularly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to this material world, and his purpose was to retrieve us and take us back home, back to Garden. So we become attracted by the Leelas of Krishna, so that is his. And then also, he instructs us through this, like Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Six Jiva Goswami, and many other people. He's instructing us to come back to me and you could enjoy. I will tell you a little story. Once upon a time, there was a Sarvagya. And that Sarvagya, that was a my wise man. Then Sarvagya, he came to a house, and that house was, the people were very, very poor there. And they did not know what to do, how to get rid of their poverty. They were suffering very miserably. So he saw the calculation, and he told the future that Sarvagya, the horoscope, he saw the horoscope of the man. He was at once astonished. The man was so poor and said to him, "Why are you so unhappy? From your horoscope that I can see that you have a hidden treasure left to you by your father. So the horoscope indicates that your father could not disclose this to you because he died in a foreign place. But now you can search out this treasure and be happy." So this living entity are suffering due to his ignorance of the hidden treasure of our Supreme Father. And so unless we know that there is here just for penny pincher or just for little things, we suffer, we have problems in the material life of many different kinds, birth, death, old age, disease, and we cannot get rid of them. They are our eternal problems in this world. So how to get rid of this? So he's saying that your father is very, very rich, filthy rich, and why not you go there and you search that where did he this put this the treasure? So the treasure is, and what is our real treasure? Is love of God. Love of Godhead means Krishna Prem, or Krishna Seva, or Krishna Bhakti. They are all the same. So the goal is not just Krishna, because Krishna we see in the Diti form in the temple. Krishna we see when we take birth during when the Krishna enacts his pastimes in the material world, or many of his incarnations that they take place. But we beyond that, we have seen Krishna many, many times. But still, we did not develop love of Godhead. Only the love of Godhead is done by Bhakti. So we have to take Krishna Seva, Krishna Prem. So unless we take the service here and then gradually our senses are purified, means Krishna Bhakti, Nitya Siddha, Krishna Prem, Sadhya Kabulai. The Krishna Prem is Nitya Siddha, means eternally it is there. It is eternally that we have. But it is covered. But it is sadhya means we cannot obtain it, we cannot get it. Kahuna, Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta. And by hearing from a higher realm or spiritual topics, from a spiritual master, from the Shastra, Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karayuda. It is arisen. Means automatically there is Krishna Prem. It is there in everybody, every Jew, because we are part of Krishna. And because of the part that nature is there to have Krishna Prem. But it is covered. And it has to be it has to be brought forth by a devotional life. So that is the, so now that about the treasure that we have been talking. So Krishna, the treasure is a love of Godhead, and in every Vedic scripture, the conditioned soul is advised to find it. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, the conditioned soul is the son of the wealthiest personality. He owns all the material world, spiritual world, everything, whatever that you see and serve belongs to God. And it is meant for us to enjoy in his association. Just like a son who lives with the father, then he survives with the father and he serves the father, and father is happy. He would give everything back to his son. So everything belongs. The spiritual kingdom is Chintamani, Prakarasagna, Sukal, Kalpavraksha. So there is Chintamani, the palaces are Chintamani, means a touch stone like, and all the trees are there as wish fulfilling trees. Anything that you ask, you don't have to work hard, you don't have to struggle. Just love and serve Krishna. Now you may say, what is it? He has everything. Why? How you could serve? Serve means to bring the fallen souls who are bereft of Krishna consciousness back to his lotus feet. The father would be very happy if you bring his children who are lost to him at his lotus feet. Then he would be very happy. Once a man, he lost his son. Some sadhus, they took him, and he thought that I'm a beggar. He was begging everywhere. And then one day, he got out of the other sadhus. So he went to Haridwar, begging there that it is holy place, but it was a month of Posh or Magh month. It was very, very cold. In a hotel kind, like in a place, Dharmashala, he went inside and please give me some place in a corner. I will stay overnight and I will go away. And then the owner of the place was there and his manager was there. So manager asked the owner, should we let this boy stay here in some corner somewhere? He will lie down. And he said, no, no, there are so many beggars like this. We don't want to spoil the scene of our place. Let him just go away. So he had nothing to cover. He lied down outside, and because it was very severe cold, he was frozen and died right there. And then, so the manager tells his owner that said, this the boy who came last night, he died. It doesn't matter. Take a sheet and cover him, and then somebody will take him away and throw him in the Ganges. And this is in Haridwar. It is very cold place. So when the manager went to cover, he saw the name of the set. He says, your name is there. How come? And then he goes and sees him carefully. And then he cries badly that I have killed my son by my own hands. He came to beg me for some place. And I was waiting for him for years. And now he has came and I just give him. So same thing, that is that our Father is there, he's waiting for us. But he would be very, very happy if we take the by preaching, by book distribution. That's what Prabhupada was brought. But he was so kind and so magnanimous that he did not see his troubles, but he wanted to bring these conditioned souls back to the lotus feet of the Lord. And he is giving us that, yes, protected by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he's leaving that still there are many cities and many countries and many villages that people do not know about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so magnanimous. Namo Mahamadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Krishna. He is waiting that we spread this. So that is already predicted, like this man that we were reading this story. So astrologer Sarvagya advised the poor man, don't dig. Means he says that yes, he has dig. The treasure is there around your house. So if you dig on the southern side of the house to find the treasure, or if you do so, you will be attacked by the poisonous wasps and will be baffled. Wasps are like, so we will see who are these wasps. And the search should be conducted on the eastern side where there is an actual light. The Bharat, or east side, that the light comes, the sun rises on the east side. So if you dig on the east side, take the Eastern philosophy, that is the Vedic culture, Vedic philosophy, then you will be very close to, you will understand. Because practically in India, everybody knows that they are the spirits. Body is different, body is dead matter, even now or later on. So practically everybody understands that they are the spirit soul. But how to act on the spirit soul? Just knowing that you are a spirit soul doesn't end the purpose. What is the purpose? What is his duty now? That is a part and parcel of Krishna. So a spirit soul, that is all right, but he has certain duty, and the duty is to serve Krishna, to understand Krishna, to develop our relationship, loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. And that people do not know that we are a spirit soul, we have the body. So most of the people, even knowing that we are a spirit soul, they think that I am the body and soul together, and my purpose is just to enjoy the body, enjoy the senses, and that is the goal of my life: eating, sleeping, working, drinking. These are the needs of everybody. So, so actual light is coming. That is called devotional service. On the southern side, there are Vedic rituals. On the western side, there is mental speculation, and so many different philosophies and so many yoga. And in the northern side, there is a meditational yoga. So, Sarvagya advice should be carefully noted by everyone. If one searches for the ultimate goal by ritualistic process, he will surely be baffled. By ritualistic process means karma kand, that you do this karma kand, means some yagyas and please the demigods, and they will award you something, they may award or they may not award, but they are all temporary. So such a process involves the performance of rituals under the guidance of a priest who takes money in exchange for service. A man may think that he will be happy by performing his rituals, but actually, if he gains some result from them, it is only temporary. So his material distress will continue. Means still again you have to take birth. Everything will be finished by this ritualistic process, karma kand, and again you have to take birth, death, old age, disease. Everything would again be there. You will take so many different lifetimes. So he will never become truly happy. Our truly happiness, because we are eternal, and we are looking for eternal happiness, not this temporary happiness that we could eat nicely or sleep nicely or mate nicely. That are not our goals. But we would be truly, if we follow, means that should not be really followed, this ritualistic process. he should simply increase his material pangs more and more, because he will never get satisfied with those things, and he will demand more and more. And when he does not fulfill, he becomes very angry with the nature, other people. And so that is not the way. The same may be said for being on the northern side, searching for treasure by means of meditational yoga. People go to Himalayas for doing some yoga practice, but what they want is something Anima, Mahima, Lagima, Garima, some yogic siddhis. So even going on the northern side, that won't fulfill, uh, relieve his conditioning or relieve his problems. So this is main things he becoming one with the Supreme Lord. Another is that one will think that I have become God now, and they want to merge Sayuji Mukti. But this merging to the Supreme is like being swallowed by a large serpent. Like large serpent swallows a small serpent. So we are being swallowed. This merging with the Lord is not the actual, that is not the duty of the soul. So Sayuji Mukti is not our real goal. Most of these Shankaracharya's followers, Advaitwadis, they think that Krishna has no attributes, and I am also Krishna. Just Krishna has taken a form now by taking to the something, say light or something that he. But ultimately, God has no form and Nirakar. So sometimes a larger serpent swallows a small serpent, and meeting to the spiritual existence of the Supreme is analogous to that. That we are merging into that. So while the small serpent is searching after perfection, he is swallowed. So same thing happens with us also. Our swallowed means we remain in the material world poor and rotate again and again. So there is no solution here. On the western side, there is impediment on the form of a yaksha, an evil spirit who protects the treasure. So yaksha means they own so much treasure, like where, and they have so much treasure, but it cannot please you. The idea is a higher hidden treasure can never be found by one. The hidden treasure that will make you happy forever, that could only be found if you dig uh, on the eastern side, means you get the knowledge order to. The result is that one will simply be killed by the yaksha. So yaksha means speculative knowledge. Uh, Speculative knowledge means the knowledge that we speculate, they think concoct. So there should not be any concoction. Whole Bhagavatam, the Gita is based on the real knowledge given by Krishna. And he is unfallible, he is Achyut. If we take those processes given by the Supreme Lord, through the media, via media of the spiritual master, we could be relieved from this problem. But we have so many karma kandas, jnana kandas, yagyas, so many yogic processes, and so much. So going to the West, and people come back from the West, they are also unhappy to get more some treasure there. So this treasure, unless we have a knowledge about Krishna and our relationship with Krishna, we cannot be happy. The process of devotional service is the perpetual hidden treasure. And when one attends to that, the devotional service is Krishna Prem, Krishna Seva. And he becomes perpetually, then he becomes perpetually rich. Then we don't have to yet Gatwana Nivartante, Tadhama Paramamama. So Krishna, so we have turned our face. That is what Krishna Buli says you. So now how to get out of this? And how the Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is answering to the questions of Sanatana Goswami. So we are here from Anadikal. There is no beginning, even before the creation. And that's why Maya is giving us this Sansarga. Sansarga means Adi Devi. So sometimes we are in a higher planetary system, sometimes we are in a lower planetary system, or Narkalok. But Danda Jane, Raja Jane, and Madhya Chuka. In the olden days, they used to give punishment to somebody who has done something wrong, or to prisoners. They will dip him into the river. When he's completely breathless, almost dying, they will bring him out for a few seconds. He will feel, oh, how nice it is. And again, we are done into the water. The same situation with us. But yes, we are in like earning nice money and human body, but how long it will last unless we do something about that. We think we prepare so many years in studying and preparation, say 25 years, and then again for a short time we live and everything is gone. So why not take a permanent solution to these material problems? And so that's why, so our beneficial would be Sadhu Shastra Kripa Yadi Krishnonmukh hai. If we are turning our face to Krishna by the mercy of Sadhu and Shastra, say Jivan Istare Maya Kahara, then Maya would give us up. Now you may say, why Maya has caught us? Because Maya is energy of the Lord. Maya is inferior energy of the Lord. Although we belong to the superior energy, but we have given the shelter of the superior energy. We have taken the shelter of the inferior energy, which is Maya. And Maya is conducted. Maya has taken the shelter of Krishna, but we have given up that shelter. Although we are of a higher nature, because we are also like Shiva, completely Satchit and Ananda. We are made Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigra, and we are also Satchidananda. But here we are Asat, Achit, Nirananda, suffering in the material world, and how to get out of this material world is only that we have to take the help of Sadhu and Shastra, and then we could be diverted or we will turn our face to Krishna. Because, like say somebody is suffering, like one man was suffering, and he was so much hungry, so he went to Jagannath Puri and in the temple, and he got hold of a pillar. And then because of the pillar is pressing the stomach, his hunger was little bit reduced. And people were giving him something that you take this, but he would not give up the support of the pillar because pillar was giving him this hunger pains was relieved. He says that but if he eats that properly, then his hunger pain will be automatically gone. If we take to Krishna consciousness, all our problems will be solved. But we think that unless I work very, very hard, I earn so much money, although by Krishna's arrangement, according to our prarabdha, everybody is getting their quota. And but we think that without my hard working, yes, you work, but so much so to keep body, soul together, so much so that still keep Krishna consciousness until we have this human life. But then we have to take a full shelter and give up all this material world or material desires or something to enjoy in the material world. Krishna will automatically bring us to this spiritual kingdom and gives everything if we become for him. Madhyata, Kadhyata, that we are yours. Krishna, please take care of it. And he will take care. Just like there was a verse that Ramchandra Prabhu was given, and that the Lord protects everyone, but one who depends completely upon him is especially looked after by the Lord. And that is very much true. Like Gajendra was suffering for 1,000 celestial years that they were fighting beneath in the water. But then he was completely at the verge of dying. Then he remembered from his previous lives and service. Then he prays to the Supreme. The Supreme Lord comes quickly, although he did not know what name to call for. But nonetheless, Krishna came with Guru and Sudarshan Chakra through while he was very close. He came very, very fast. And he cut the neck of this crocodile. And his leg was, Gajendra's leg was relieved. And then naturally, his all the problems. But they are very beautiful prayers that he is singing. So Draupadi, Sadi, and in many, many forms that Lord protect his devotees. Like sometimes Durvasa Muni comes to ask for the food with 10,000 disciples. And in the forest, they did not have it. They had a sun god was given them a pot. But if the Draupadi eats from the pot, then only the next day they could get the food again. But Draupadi ate already. Then she remembered Krishna. Krishna comes. That Draupadi, I'm hungry. I don't have anything. So he showed me the pot. So he took a little leaf, and then Krishna was satisfied. Everybody is satisfied. So Krishna is the root of everything. So root cause, sarva karana karana, is the cause of everything. If we satisfy the cause, rather than trying to satisfy our senses, ourselves, we would never be satisfied. If you have to water the root, then the whole tree becomes green and it is helpful. It means the leaves, the branches, the twigs, the fruits, the flowers, everybody would be happy if we water the root. So Arjun was very perplexed, his son was killed, and he took an oath to kill the Jayadratha and he does not kill. So how he protected Krishna and killed the Jayadratha, he hit the sun by he put some Sudarshan. And then the sun was raised just by, because he had to kill him till the sunset. And then Krishna put Sudarshan check to make it like a sun. And then he says that still there is a daytime, kill him. He killed him. Same thing like Arjun, he had a snake arrow, snake bird arrow. And when he was shooting at him, he got that, this kernel. He had this from his guru and from his father's Suryadev. And then Krishna put whole chariot down underground. Means how, and then arrow hit just the the crown of the Arjun, and then the crown just hit and got burned to ashes. And Arjun was that why Krishna has done all this and why did he put the chariot down? Then he explained to me everything. That if I would not done that, then you would be killed by this snake bird or a snake arrow. Same thing like Vibhishan, he surrendered that yes, Tavasmiti Achate. Then I give you everything. Krishna will protect. He protects everybody. There is no not a single person. Abhayam sarvam ekat. You know, Abhay means no problem with anyone, whether from human being, demigods, anybody, nobody can. We see astrology and what's, but there is no need to see astrological calculation on this. If we are surrendered to Krishna, he protects us from every kind. What this demigods or planetary system can do in front of Krishna, they're all his subordinate. So he will remove this effect. So whether it is Chitraketu in Indra's fight and he was a devotee, so Chitraketu became Vratarasura later on. How nice prayers that has been sung that you please kill me, like you are asking the Indra that you have this thunderbolt made from the bones of the Dadichi. It is meant to kill me. So why don't you kill me? And he was asking the Lord that please let his mind be absorbed in Krishna all the time. Even while fighting, he was thinking of Krishna. Arjuna was fighting, and he was thinking Satatam, and he was remembering Krishna all the time. That everything is done by Krishna, by Krishna himself. And unless we have the dependency on Krishna completely surrender to him, then it cannot be relieved. So we should have a surrendering process. And that's what Krishna says in the end of the Gita. Sarva dharman parityaja mame surrender means you just take shelter. It depends on it. And just like a father and like there is a mother. Mother is so much like she is always worried when it's a little child, when the child is not dependent. She takes care of all the food needs, sleeping, playing, whether he's hungry or not, every kind of taken care of. Same thing if you surrender to Krishna, everything will be taken care of. But when the child is grown up, he plays outside, goes outside. Mother does not bother about his maintenance. What happened? He may get hurt outside. She cautions that is right, but she does not have the same mentality, same kind of protective behavior with the child unless he surrendered. A little cry in the childhood, she will come running. Now the child, son is crying, oh, I am suffering, I have so much anxiety, please help me. What she can do? He has not surrendered. Now she is not capable even. But Krishna is our Father who is capable all the time. We cannot say that he would not help me. I'm a grown up man, he would not help me. But he will help. So this Vartarasura was saying that just like the birds are waiting for the mother, just as the cow's calf is waiting for the mother to come and feed him the milk, or just as a chaste wife is waiting for husband who has gone outside and wow, her mind is absorbed in him. So please let my mind be constantly absorbed at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Kamahi Nari Pyari Jimi, Lovahi Pire Jimi Dham, Timi Raghunatha Nirantara, Basam Praday Shri Ram. That just like a dusty man, he likes to have some women to enjoy. The man who is greedy, Kamahi Nari Pyari Jimi, Lovahi Pire Jimi Dham. The person who is a lobi, who is very, very lalchi, who wants wealth. So he wants to just see where I can make wealth. So he wants everything that he sees. He thinks that I can make how I can make wealth. One man was always attached, thinking of his business and how to increase it. And he became very old, and his sons said that now let me send him to some holy places. So they hire a Brahman and send him to holy place. They will take a dip. So he goes to Kashi. In Kashi, he saw one after another dead men are coming for burning hard, and people are buying the wood at so much costly or chandan or other things, because people will put some sandalwood also. They have a nice smell, and so they will buy ghee and wood. And he says that is a very good business. Why I'm doing a cloth? I should. So rather than he came to holy place, but his always thought was how I can increase my business. So that is the activity. Even at the end, the man was like he had a shop and somehow he died and became a grain merchant. He died and became a like say a goat. And then later on goat remembered that this was my shop. So there are some impression from the previous life because mind, intelligence, and ego they go along with the person. So he could think of at least some remembrance is there. And some people more or less, or some are none at all. Because Krishna, he reminds us, or he gives intelligence, he gives knowledge, or so by him we remember, forget, and we have the knowledge. So that is because of Krishna. So Krishna is everything. Without him giving us direction, we cannot do anything. We cannot blink our eye or touch our nose. If Krishna is constant there. So these are all has to be there. So Lord is definitely protects everybody that you everywhere that you read the stories that so how it is Tate Krishna Bhaje Kare Guru Seva that you Krishna where you serve the Guru and have engaged in Krishna Bhajan, Maya Jal Chute Pai Krishna Seva. Then Maya who is wrapping you, who is keeping you because we are Maya Baddha. There are Baddha Jiva and there is liberated souls, eternally liberated souls, and we are Baddha. So we have Krishna is Sukha Swarup. He is his Swarup is always Anandamaya Bhasa. Is always, and we are also looking for that Anand. Unless we connect with that Anand, Ananda Ghan, Krishna is called Ananda Ghan. Raso Vaisa Rasam Hevayam Ladva. Unless we connect with the source of Rasa is Ananda, bliss. So what we are looking, every Jiva soul is looking for Ananda, but we don't know where to find it. And that is Shastra is telling you, just like this Sarvagya, that he told this poor man that you dig on the eastern side and you will find the treasure. So we dig this place like eastern side to get that knowledge. I'm the servant of Krishna, I'm part and parcel of Krishna. I belong to the spiritual kingdom and we turn our face to Krishna, then naturally we will be happy. So Rasam, Evayam, Latva, Anandi Bhavati. If you want to become Anand, then we have to connect with the Rasa Swarup or Ananda Swarup, Ananda Ghan to him. So he is asking this Sanatana Goswami. So based on this teaching, they wrote so many voluminous books. All the Goswamis, they found out the places of Krishna's pastimes. They were giving protection to the people who were coming from Bengal and teaching and so much literature that living so simply. तो कृपा करी सब तत्व कहता आपने. So प्रभु कहे, now these are the answers of this question. कृष्ण कृपा तुम्हारे पूर्ण है, सब तत्व ज्ञान तुम्हारे नाही. If you know all the tattva, then you will not have any tapatra, this adi devik adi bhakti adhyatmik. कृष्ण शक्ति धर तुम्हें ज्ञान तत्व भाव, ज्ञानी दाढ़े लागी पूछे साधुर स्वभाव. We read that. So you are योग्य पात्र हो तुम्हें भक्ति प्रवाह कही थे, क्रमे सब तत्व सुनो कही थे सो तुम्हारे. So in these 4 chapters, just these 2 answers are very simple. That who am I? We are living, we are part and parcel of Krishna. Jivara Swarupa Krishna Nitya. And the next question was why these 3-fold material miseries, but how to get relief from that. That is given in all the 4 chapters. This we are reading this 20th chapter of Madhya Lila Chaitanya Charitamrita. But 20, 21, 22, 23, they are all there. So Jivara Swarupa Krishna Nityata. That is the Jiva. Krishna Tatastha Shakti, Veda Ved Prakash. One may say why we are Tatastha Shakti, why we are not Swarup Shakti. Because Krishna has Tatastha Shakti, because we are in a way that we could take either to the spiritual part or we may take to the material. We cannot by itself we cannot live. So we have to take shelter of one or another. If Krishna is Swaraj, is completely independent, or he does not need anything. But he has this, he's created all this. You may say Eko Vai Bhusham. Krishna from one God who is in the beginning, he wanted to become so many because he's Ananta, he created Ananta planets, Ananta Jivas, Ananta. Just like some rich man may have hundreds of houses, although he does not need them, but he has it. Somebody has just a nature to collect moments, like the rich man may have millions of like one man had, like he was called by this some guru, he invited him to come, Guru Nanak. So he went to his house and he had so many flags on the side on his house. He says that why there are so many flags? So he tells him that each time I earn a 10,000 gold coins, then I put a flag. So I know how many gold coins I have. I don't have to count them again and again, taking it out of my safe. So he did not say anything. He ate. When they were going to see him off, then he said that please help me. I have this pin because they have some pin in the Safar and this. So he gave him a pin that you please give me when I ask for it. When you will ask, he said that in the next life, when you will born in the next life, I will also be there and you bring it to me at that time. He was saying that how next life I cannot take even my body. How I can take all this your pin or anything. He says that if you cannot take even a pin, how come that you are collecting so much and so many flags? How you will be able to take, how you will be able to enjoy. Give all this nonsense up and just surrender to Krishna. And same thing like when Dhritarashtra was enjoying his kingdom and everything, he became attached. In the material world, we become attached. And unless we have sadhu and shastra, so by form of sadhu, so Vidurji comes, then he told him in a very, he tells him, although he is his elder brother and he respects him so much, but he wanted to get him out of this entanglement. He said that, how come you are eating like a dog by the hands of Bhima, who killed your all the 100 sons? Don't you feel ashamed of that? Get out of this. So, because of association with Vidur, then he got out of that. And even his wife Gandhari, although she's the queen, she's the daughter of a king, princess, and everything, but she also follows the path to Krishna consciousness. They go through the Himalayas. Although same thing, Pandavas and Yudhishthira Maharaj, they all go. Whole history is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Any king, whether it is Rishabdev, they will give away, or whether it is Yudhishthira Maharaj, or Prahlad Maharaja, Ambarish Maharaja, they live earlier, they take to one first and sannyas and dedicate their life in the service of the Supreme Lord. And that the best service, the best Bhagavad Gita is saying, is to bring the fallen conditioned souls to Krishna, to let them know about Krishna by process of Sankirtan. And that is what is needed in Sankirtan. One should perform Sankirtan and give people about Krishna. And by giving this, you could be free. So, Jiva Tattva, that Jivara Swarupa, Tatastha Shakti, Krishna Tatastha Shakti, we are part because we could be on both sides. And that's why we are called Tatastha Shakti. Although we are part of the Chit Shakti and Swarup Shakti. So, that is internal energy. Swarup Shakti has three parts of that Swarup Shakti. Samvit, Samvit and Ladini. Samvit is existential, Samvit is with knowledge, and the third one is Ladini Shakti. Srimati Radharani is the topmost of the Ladini Shakti. She is the representative of Ladini Shakti. But because we have taken shelter of the lower, if we take shelter of the lower, like Maya, although it is also Shakti, so Maya could be used. Maya is also energy of the Lord, but everything in the material world could be used for Krishna. So Jiva is Krishna's energy. Jiva Shakti is Tatastha Shakti. There is a Bheda and Abhed Sambandha between us and Krishna. There is a Bheda and Abhed. We are very, very tiny, minuscule. Minuscule means just like a drop in the ocean or even less than that. Just like the sun rays, billions of sun rays. In the rays, there are some floating, some specks are there. So we are like this. That is our. And then we are eternally Nityadas. Krishna is Nityadas. Swarup, we are eternally. That is our Tatastha Lakshan and Swarup Lakshan. These three are Swarup Lakshan, and this that we are the Nitya Das is our Swarup Lakshan one. So what is our activity? But if we are engaging in Maya Das, we have become. So rather than serving Maya, we should serving Krishna. And Krishna is Nitya Das, and there is a detailed discussion how we can be Nitya Das, but we are eternally part of Krishna, meant to serve Him, not to enjoy ourselves. We think that I am the senses. That's why we like to engage senses in the for enjoyment. But we are not in the senses. We are not the body. And once we understand that thoroughly by tattva, if we do hridayangam, keep in our heart, and then we could become free. So then the process has been given. Now it is up to us how to get free. So these three questions are very wonderful, and everybody is looking for the answers of this. And if one knows these answers, then they can take the advantage and they could become free to, by turning our face to Krishna. We have turn our face to Maya and we have to turn our. Then necessarily Krishna Surisam Maya hai andhakar. Jahan Krishna, tahan nahi Maya radhikar. Krishna is like a sun. And how much time it takes? Like if there is a dark room, you just turn on the switch and there is light. Not even fraction of a second. Minute you turn, the minute like we turn our face to Krishna, whole Maya would go away. Maya cannot come in front of Krishna. Maya cannot stay. Maya is darkness. So we are living in a place of darkness. And Krishna's place is effulgent, self-effulgent. We need artificial things. We are in Tama, Andhakar, Asatoma, Sadgama, Asat. That is temporary. Tamso Maya, we are in darkness. Jyotirgama, go to the place which is effulgent, that is Krishna's place. Eternal. And Mrityurma, this is a place, Amritam Gama, that we are in the Mrityu place, place of death. 100% assurance is there. Then you go to Amritam, that is Amrit place, Krishna. No death. Not that Amrit that is drunk by demigods, that is temporary. Demigods may got it, they may not become energetic, and they may, but that is not real Amrit. Real Amrit is Krishna. So there are like dharma, artha, kam, moksha. These are the purusharth, but real purusharth is Krishna. That is Panchamaksha. And the moksha should not be really looked for because devotees don't want moksha to become free, Sayuja Mukti, but they would like to become Krishna Bhakta by engaging in different sides. So thank you so much. If there is any comments, questions, we can discuss. But thanks for opportunity to. And I'm thankful to Ramchandra Prabhu that immediately he called me and he asked me to give the classes. He asked me even before also, but I did not see my email, so I could not come on that day. But thank you for your wonderful association and listening. So if there is any comments or questions, there are still, it's almost the time.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for summarizing such a vast topic in such a short time. I have one question, Prabhuji, and this relates to today's topic. So how when we see the example of Prathu Maharaj, who was Satyavesha avatar of the Lord, incarnation of the Lord, he knew that the love of Godhead was the topmost, Bhakti Yoga is the topmost process. Yet he gave up his kingdom at the end upon the instructions of the Kumaras, and he performs severe austerities like Dhruva Maharaj. And through that he attains perfection. He controls his mind, his senses, except his desires. But knowing that that is the hard way to get to love of God or develop or come to the level of bhakti by controlling your senses, your desires. Yet that was performed. Why is that?
Okay, good question. See, Prathu Maharaj is from the age of Satyuga, and different processes are there for the different ages. People live longer. This just some chanting, although chanting is the beneficial effect in any age, any time, any day, even in the hellish planets also you could chant. But because for that age that was meditation and giving up. So he was teaching that different yugas, Satyuga, Treta Yuga, there is a lot of like yagyas. Meditation is for the Satyuga. Then there is Dwapar Yuga, which is all elaborate temple worships, and then there is Kali Yuga. So many devotees, demigods, or saintly people, they wait for the Kali Yuga to come, particularly when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, and they wait for that age because it is a, although there is so many, but people who could take the shelter of Krishna, they get liberation and they get free and develop love of Godhead very easily. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not distribute this. Krishna thought that I have not distributed this love of Godhead. Means there are many other processes, and so that is in many incarnations, many. But what is the best that I have not given yet? So he comes in form of his own devotee. That's why this age is called Triyugi. Triyugi means Krishna is not age, but Krishna is called Triyugi because it takes birth in Triyuga. But here it is Channa Avatar, hidden incarnation. and he teaches and he gives the best of freely. He just distributes love of Godhead. Very, very freely he distributes his love of Godhead to anybody, and that price is just lollem api ekle mulya. That if you have a keen desire, you want to have it, and Krishna gives it. And so, what more in other ages, even because unless there is Krishna consciousness fully, like Satyu or Vishwamitra Muni was performing so much severe austerities or meditation for 60,000 years, and he was disturbed. So mind is, but unless mind is at the lotus feet of Krishna, whatever processes you may do may not give you the full result as it is in the Kali Yuga just by chanting the holy name, Sankirtan. Yagyai Sankirtana Praya, Yajanti Somadasa. People with intelligence, good brain will take to this process. And that's why Prabhupada started go door to door, Kaho Krishna, Bolo Krishna, Karo Krishna, then distribute literature, talk to them about holy name, talk to them about Krishna and how merciful he is. Let them take shelter of Srila Prabhupada or bring it to Srila Prabhupada. Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshaya. So they are doing some processes which are not ultimately so much beneficial as in the Kali Yuga. Clear doshe nidhi rajam yasti ek mahamuna. Kirtanat eva Krishnasya mukta sangha param. You want to become free, then you take to this Krishna consciousness. And that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught by giving the example. He said that I have not distributed this. Advaita Acharya called for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birth is not there in Satya Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga. He comes in one Kali Yuga in 1000 Chandri Yuga. So we are very fortunate to be born in a place when Krishna came only 5,000 years ago, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came really recently. 500 years is nothing in comparison to eternity. So, and that's why Prabhu Maharaj is showing the path that is the Yuga Dharma. So for this age, that is Sankirtan is the Yuga Dharma, and we should take it very seriously. That why not Prabhu Maharaj did. That is something like Rishabdev is the first Tirthankar for Jainism, but also he was living like he will pass his stool and urine in the same place and lie down and without asking. But although he gave instruction to his 100 sons, that is very much true, but he did not go door to door to preach Krishna consciousness. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's all the disciples, they went out of their homes. They took like all the 6 Goswamis and others, and they are preaching to others to bring the fallen souls back to the lotus feet, which was not done in the previous ages. So why not we glorify this Kali Yuga and then take to this process of Sankirtan? Talk to everybody simply, that everybody our God brothers and God sisters, not only whom we took initiation, but everybody, because they are our brothers and sisters, being part of the same Lord Krishna, even an ant also. So we take care, like Prabhupada would give sometime an ant was dying and he took little sugar or some prasad and gave to this ant or to the bird or to the tree which is dying. So in the same way we should have that heart, and Prabhupada showing by his example. So he's exemplifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching, how to put it practically. So he gave whole thing, whole process that could be taken very easily. So other process like, say, you may say this Dhruv Maharaj. Yes, Dhruv Maharaj, we have taken the process of chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva in meditation. But Sankirtan Yagya, that is done in Kali Yuga by mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that should be taken very seriously. That is the process. Somebody maybe is meditating, means that is Bhajananandi, he is doing bhajan. But Krishna prefers Goshtyanandi to bring the fallen souls back to him. That is his process. He went himself, 6 years he was going out and walking, distributed love of God freely. Okay, I hope that
Yes.
helps you.
Just one follow-up question. So this was a conversation between Sanatana Goswami and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and
Right. In Banaras.
Right. We call ourselves Rupanugas. We do not say, we are Sanatana. So can you just explain this? Many times devotees ask, like, why not followers of Sanatana Goswami, although both the brothers are close?
Yes. Okay. Okay. See, Rupa Manjari, He is the chief Manjari, assistant of Lalita and Vishaka. Lalita Sakhi. They are the Astasakis and there are the Manjaris. So he is the chief of the Manjaris, and Sanatana Goswami is under in the spiritual kingdom. But here he comes as an elder brother, Sanatana Goswami, and his teachings are also very, very wonderful. But Sri Chaitanya Mano Wisdom Sthapita Mena Bhutale, Swam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati. He understands the mind of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which Sanatana Goswami also understand, not to the extent as Rupa Goswami understand. And that's why we are called Rupanuga, because he is the head Manjari. We are all could take the Das Dasanuga, Manjaris serving the Manjaris. We can never take the place of either Sakhis, Radharani, even the Manjaris, but we can be followers of the Manjari footsteps and we can help them in their. So we are here to help Rupa Goswami, who is the topmost of the Manjaris. Sanatana Goswami is assistant to that Rupa Goswami. Another kind of Manjari, another group. There are many groups of Manjaris, but he is not having the same position. Naturally, we have to worship Rupa Goswami, and he knows the whether he Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave mercy to both of them. Both are exalted. We should not diminish the importance. We could call when we say Rupa or when we say Adi Bhaktagan, Gaura Bhaktagan, the Gaura Bhakta means everybody is included in that, not just the Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktagan. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivas Adi, whatever others. So sometimes it is in one, but when we talk group, then it includes Sanatana and all the six. So we should not misunderstand and take it in exactly the word by word. We have to see in the light of what the sadhus are describing or what the Shastras. The Rup Sanatan, that is always there. The six of the Swamis are all there in this. So we should not take it in just that it is just the Rup Goswami. We are worshipping Sanatan. He is important. Actually, Sanatan Goswami sometimes chastises Rupa Goswami. Sanatan Goswami, one time, Rupa Goswami was in this place, the name of the place. And then Sanatana Goswami just came to see his younger brother. And then he thought in his mind that my elder brother has come. I must serve him some way. But he had no means there. So Radharani comes. This is before even Sanatana Goswami came. He just gave the message that I will be coming. So Radharani comes and she brings all the ingredient and she asked that should I cook for you some sweet rice? She said, "Ha, Lali, you can cook." So he cooked that, and when Sanatana Goswami ate, and it was so transcendental. And he said, "Where this?" Just like people praise ISKCON's like Sunday feast, people praise so much that they have never eaten like that because it's eaten by Krishna. So, just yesterday I met a man. He says it is so divya that you cannot find in any restaurant, any place, any cook which is cooked in ISKCON temples or Govinda or this is Sunday law feast. And so the same thing when he ate this, that was not ordinary sweet rice. And he asked, he said that one girl came and she cooked it from the nearby town. And he said that must be Radharani. It cannot have a taste like this. And so you are asking. So he's chastising that our duty is to serve Radharani, not to make her serve. Why did you desire like this? Sometime like this, he was just writing, Raghunath Das Goswami. Writing outside in the bank of this Radha. And then Radharani, it was so much sun. And he's meditating and writing, and then Radharani comes and puts her on well on top of Raghunath Das Goswami. Then it was known by Sanatana Goswami. He chastised him away. That why don't you make a hut and give up this your practice of, and then it gives trouble to Srimati Radharani. Means he would not even know that Radharani has come and put her own sari well to cover him from the sun. So how kind and how much relationship that these Goswamis they had with Krishna and Radharani and with all the jivas that they would eat. And they write such a wonderful literature for us to understand and act on that platform, which is available so freely because of the printing presses and all this, which was not there. There just for one book, somebody you have to write, you have to take a palm leaves, you have to have a nice pen, like which does not diminish, gradually fade away, and they write on this palm. Just to copy, just one copy would take so many years. I need to spend, but by Krishna's mercy and arrangement, we have all this. So everything that should be used, Yukta Vairagya, we should use it for Krishna's to spread Krishna consciousness. So Rup Sanatan, it is, you should understand it that it is all, everybody's included. Rupa Anugas means all the Anugas of all the Goswamis. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Does anybody have a question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for taking the time to come to our Wednesday Sangha and speak to us. I don't have a question, but I like how you very nicely explained to us that, you know, Krishna being God actually doesn't require or need our service. So the biggest service that we can give to the Lord is to, you know, try and stir some devotion in the mind of a conditioned soul so that he can be released from Maya. So that was the biggest takeaway, and I'm really grateful to have gotten the opportunity to hear that from you. Thank you.
Thank you for expressing that. Really, see, we decorate Krishna very nicely, but it is our decoration. But the people, he does it, we do it all this so people could come to the temple. When the deities are decorated, when deities are nicely dressed, are so much. So people go just to the ISKCON temples just for seeing the beautiful decoration, beautiful flower arrangements. So everything that is to attract. Prabhupada said that I could sit underneath a tree. I don't require all these things, big temples and all this. But we do that so that people, the fallen souls, could be attracted. So we have to attract everybody by some means or another. That is our process, not by hitting somebody or not by chastising, but by giving in a way that they could take it, sustained way. Okay, so it's nicely said that yes.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Okay.
Any other question? Anyone? Prabhuji, I would like to ask you something which is,
Sure.
and I'm sure over all these years you've gone through many challenges, and even at this age now you are preaching, you're working on opening a new temple, you're building a new temple in your hometown. What is the motivation behind? I mean, what keeps you going after so many years? Many times people get demotivated or leave ISKCON even within a couple of years or months, even if something happens. But after so many challenges, you may have seen so many things, and even now you're spending so much. You were just telling before the class started that there are so many things to do in building this temple. You are invited some European devotees who will be coming next month or next week. There, Harinam and Prasadam distribution, construction. What is the motivation, and what would you advise all of us to keep ourselves motivated so we can keep serving Prabhupada like this for many years to come?
Thank you so much for asking this question. See, everybody has a different tendency, different way to do. Krishna has provided different energies to practically all the jiva souls in a one way or another, and we should utilize those tendencies, those whatever that he has given to you should be used in service of Krishna. Rashikesha, Rashikena, Sevanam, Bhakti, Uttama. Uttam Bhakti is that you use your senses for service of the Lord. But he provides also some material things. By nature, I'm a kind of businessman. You may say Vaishya, that is there. But I thought that I use for all these things. Why not to use whatever is there, or whatever best that I could do for Krishna? Not really for my glorification, or not that I never thought that it would give me some prestige or in the society, or not for that purpose. I never thought in that way. But I had certain assets, and I thought rather than leaving it to something that who knows what would happen, like people usually leave with children, or people make some big memorials for themselves, collect something, so many expensive cars and houses. And I thought that even if I had to borrow today, I will be able to uh, pay all that back. I spent almost, you may say, almost 25 to 30 crores of rupees, means $4 or $5 million in this temple. But the reason is Krishna provided me. That is one thing that is definitely true. But at the same time, that I have heard that that is the best use of it. I may die at any time. We should see the death in front of us from coronavirus or any virus or any accident or any natural catastrophe. One has to give up. So why not to do what is your assets used for Krishna service? And Krishna says that you use your body, mind, words, and all the possessions. So I'm trying to use it. I'm still very much fallen, very much uh, low person, but I want to somehow to see that, because that was the prediction of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and everybody, that so many people from different parts of the world would come and together and see, understand films. That so many people are coming. So I'm paying there all the tickets and coming and maintaining them, and so others could follow, because Indians are very hard-hearted sometimes. But India is the best place for spreading Krishna culture, because people have some basic ingredients are there, which is not there. Although they are with so much different philosophies, they are bombarded was that, but it could be removed by certain loving care or some way. If they take prasad and you talk to them or they hear the holy name, they will change. So that was my intention, that let me invite people from foreign country like this. Prabhupada. Prabhupada was here almost 69 years. Only one disciple that he had. Not much spreading, or people did not buy many Bhagavatam, or like there was first canto was in 3 volumes was there, but many people they did not buy. He had to give them forcefully or whatever way. But when he came to the West, he could distribute many books. His survival in the initial first year was because of the books, and later on people came by the mercy of the Lord. Many devotees came and joined him. So, what is motivating by seeing the life of Srila Prabhupada, by seeing the life of devotees, that how they are dedicated. So I thought that I myself should. Fortunately, since I came in 71, I had association of devotees, and throughout followed. In my medical career also, I served them wholeheartedly. And so they don't have to spend money. I will deliver the mothers at my home and work hard. Sometimes the whole school would come. We were very close to Lake Huntington, and many students would come, many devotees would come. So just it is the mercy of the devotees that they came. I accepted them. I gave them place to stay. I mean, and even now, whoever comes, we take care of them. I never refused in my life that don't come, we are busy. I never said that word. Even we will stay in one room and have other guests come and live there. So it is the mercy of the devotees, by their mercy, that I can use my assets in service to Krishna.
It's very exemplary, Prabhuji, through your not just words but through actions. You're showing how one must be engaged. And I've personally seen it from when I started coming to the temple when I was very new. And I could tell that whenever we visited, whenever I came to your house, and I never left without prasadam. And Mataji was so kind to serve prasadam, no matter what time of the day it was. And that's something that we try to imbibe in our own lives. Thank you very much for guiding us, and we pray for your good health. And
I'm an old man, 75-year-old, so I don't know. But whatever time is there, because what else I would be doing. So we have to be engaged in something. And the best service is to let people come and get some Krishna consciousness, some test for Krishna consciousness. Even if they begin, although it may take lifetimes, but doesn't matter, they have to start somewhere.
we can see that, Prabhuji, that age is no barrier in Krishna consciousness, correct? One can keep serving in different forms. Yeah, thank you very much. Anybody else? Any question? Just to let you know, this time for the Bhadra month, Bhadra Purnima and Bhadra month, ISKCON of Bergen, we did 40 Srimad Bhagavatam sets distribution, which was significant amount for our small little community.
Very nice. Here people can't afford that kind of Bhagavatam sets and pay. So mostly villages
Hmm.
were poor, but anyway, they come for Sunday programs and take prasad and hear chanting and kirtan. And Prabhupada also brought his dancing white elephants. So that is why I'm doing this, bringing people from foreign countries and let them dance.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us today.